Welcome to the MoneyWise Channel. On this channel, we're going to talk about inspirational events and a lot of great money things, you know? We always remember success goes to the person that holds on after everybody else has let go. It's a mind state, you know? So on this channel, I'm going to be giving my reaction to what I see, and hopefully it leaves you inspired. People send me videos, or I find them, and I just, give you my opinion, and maybe it'll inspire you to go watch it yourself. So today we're going to be talking about an artist by the name of Lecrae. The interview I saw was Lecrae's interview on why he left Columbia Records to be independent. That's Lecrae's interview on why he left Columbia Records to be independent. I thought that was interesting because most people want the deal and they want to stay with the deal, but his thing was to go back to be independent again. So I was like, that's interesting. So before we get into what he actually said, let me give you some backdrop on exactly who he is, because you might not know who Lecrae is or really know where he comes from. So let me give you a little knowledge on him, and then we'll say what happened in the interview, what he said in the interview. Well, his real name is Lecrae Devon Moore, and he's from Houston, Texas. My belief is he was actually born in Houston, Texas. He's a Christian rapper, though guy is incredible. He's a Christian, because a lot of times you hear Christian rap and you're like, I don't want to hear that. Nah, check him out. His wordplay is crazy. He's really good. He's really good. Check him out. He's a Christian rapper. He's also a business owner. He's a co-owner of his rap label, Reach Records. That's Reach Records, and he's a co-owner of that. That's a great label, independent. He never met his father, from what I've heard him say. What I heard in someone else speaking about him say, he never heard his he never met his father, and I guess his father was a drug addict. So what I heard, and he had talked about he was molested by a female babysitter when he was younger, and because of that, it made him real promiscuous. It made him real wild, and made him, it changed his outlook of things in life, as far as his sexuality and how he decided to move in life. So we gotta be conscious about our children in those situations. So another thing is he was abused in many ways. That, and maybe being yelled at, maybe beaten. It seemed like there was a lot of situations that happened for him, which is sad when you hear these things happen for a child. And I would say poverty itself, if there's not a lot of money, that's abusive too. But that's a whole nother conversation. But people don't think so. They're like, oh, my kids are clean. But if they living in poverty, or they don't have enough money, you picked the wrong father to have a child by, so they don't have that father upbringing, or the mom is not doing right, or whoever, that's always a problem. That itself is an abuse, is abusive. Both parents are not in the child's life to be there and help them financially, protect them and raise them. To me, that's abuse. That's horrible. And that's just a open door of problems, to happen to your child. So before you have children, you should talk and try to build a nice structure for them to be together. Even if y'all want to be apart, can you at least build a system for the child to have a chance to be successful? So he went through a lot of things, but rapping made him feel significant and made him feel important to people, because he stuck out because of his talent. He spent a lot of time with his grandmother. He talks about, and he went to church with her, and those church grandmothers, they're going to be there for you and give you the love. But I always say, a lot of times the grandmother has to step in because there's something wrong with the parenting of the parents. So the grandmother has to come in. It doesn't speak of a grandfather, which is interesting. So I wonder, was that another man problem with the grandma, with no man there, and then getting into the man not being there with the mother? Maybe that's why the mother didn't have her man. A lot of times in the community, we have these issues. We need to work together. It's very important, because it's hard for a mother, well, that's a grandmother, to raise a male child. So it's important when a child is growing that they can have someone to look at that's proper and can stand in front of them as a father figure. But the grandmother sounded like she did her best, took him to church. She wouldn't let him watch any any rap videos in the house and stuff like that, you know. And his thing was, since he didn't have Martin Luther King, he didn't have Malcolm X, he said he would sneak and listen to Tupac. He would listen to what he'd get from that to get his growth and try to learn his manhood. And he had an uncle, I guess this would be his grandmother's son, and this guy don't sound like he was too tight. Like his elevator wasn't going all the way to the top, because he said his uncle as a kid showed him a gun. So that spiraled him into more of a gangster lifestyle. And it's always interesting to me that the grandmother go to church, but her son will be out here in the streets, and then it messes up the grandson. Isn't that interesting? So, but she won't let him watch rap videos, but her son is out here with a gun, showing the grandson hot mess, but won't let him watch rap videos. It's kind of crazy to me in the community. So he shows him a gun, and at that point, that gets him acting crazy, opening up that part of his brain into some nonsense of street stuff. So now he gets caught with a BB gun, pointing it at a woman driving, and gets in trouble for that at 12 years old. And then, you know, he's just spiraling down I would say down the wrong path. But the good part is that around age 11, he starts working on rap songs. He starts writing and penning songs, R&B songs. So he's working on his talent, and that's great. You know, at 16, though, he kind of goes back down and he starts, you know, trying out drugs. You know, I probably was weed, marijuana, and things like that, however you want to say it, dabbing in those things. He said he tried everything but heroin and crack. Well, there's still a lot of things left that he clearly tried. If the only thing he didn't try was heroin and crack, and you know, and that's tough that he even felt like he had to be in that position when he's trying to grow himself, you know. Even at that age, around 16, 17, he said he got in a lot of trouble, and he was put on the gang list. Now, the gang list is when you basically in a gang and you keep getting in trouble, and then now they profile you. So whenever something happens, they pick you up and they say, hey, and he's also this gang, in this gang, he does this, he does this. Basically a rap sheet. As a teenager, as a juvenile, he's already putting himself in the wrong positions, you know. And when you think about it, you know, it's very deep, because he said when he was arrested that the officer let him go because he had his Bible, his grandma's Bible with him. CNN called him the drug dealer with his grandma's Bible. This was CNN said. This is all documented. It said that he was the drug dealer with his grandma's Bible. They had nicknamed him Lecrae because he was always thrill seeking and doing things that was a little bit out there, you know. But let's say around 18, 19, he started going to church, trying to find himself. And I believe about 19, 20, he fully gave his life to God, you know, the full conversion, you know. And I believe he attended the University of North Texas, you know, trying to work on his education and refining his life. So about 2004, I would say 5 years after he you know, quotation, got saved or converted, he got with a guy named Ben Washer. And him and Ben Washer, they worked together to start his independent label called Reach Records. That's Reach Records. Independently, him and Ben Washer started that. And then he ended up dropping 3 mixtapes. And I believe he went on to drop 10 studio albums, because in 2016, he signed with Columbia Records. And he did a great job with them for a while, you know, Billboard, did all these type of things. He did a great job. He had a great career. And then he decided that they just had too much going on in Colombia, because he said that it was, because this is where it gets into what he says about the interview. He said the reason why he decided to leave Colombia is because they couldn't just drop records whenever he wanted to, like he did independently. It's just they have a schedule and you have to walk out with it, because see, a record label is like a bank. They finance your situation, and they also have relationships, so you have to plug in with them, you know. So he decided, you know, I just want to be able to do my own thing and go back to being independent. So I'm not mad at that. You know, it sounds to me like Lecrae has done a great job. He has went against all the things that try to stop him, and he was able to rise above it. So proud of him, man. So he's back independent, total control. He's got all the relationships now because he was signed. He shook all the hands, went all to the parties. He's met everybody. And he said the most important thing was to watch his ego, because there was so much on the table that he didn't want to be caught up with it. Hey, man, to each his own. my thing is, I'm proud of you, Lecrae. If you hear this, man, you did your thing, man. We're proud of you, you know. So I would say to anybody, stay excited about your life. I will be dropping more videos to inspire. Faith without works is dead. Remember, keep your eyes out for the small things as you're doing the big things. You know, while he was doing the big things, he continued to make sure he grew as a person. Lecrae made sure he worked with people, got what being washed, and made sure they built something that while he was going for the bigger things, making sure he was building the structures so he could help people. And he's helped a lot of people. That's another thing. A lot of things in the community. So like and subscribe to this MoneyWise channel for more wisdom in the future. And remember, the plans may change, but the goals stay the same. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. You know? Yep.